Good day everyone, and welcome to another World of Warcraft video. Today I'm going to be talking about artifact power and how we've sort of reached the logical conclusion of the expansion in a way. I'll get to that in a minute. I just first wanted to say, because this is coming right off the back of the Tomb of Sargeras, I love that raid. That is an amazing raid. My raid nights were Wednesday and Thursday night, and I cleared all the bosses on normal, and we've got the first boss down on heroic. And all those fights are pretty good. The only one I didn't do was Maiden Vigilance, because I was a little bit late to my second raid night. But I liked most of the raids so far, and by far, visually the most stunning room in any raid I can think of has got to be Mistress Sazine's room. I love it. It is beautiful. The water and all the creatures that are coming into the fight, and the way that all plays out, I love it. It's absolutely amazing. But anyway, that's not the point of this video. The point is artifact power. I'm getting sick of the grind, and I think everyone else is getting sick of the grind as well. We've gotten to a point with artifact power where most of us have gotten Concordance of the Legion Pool 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5, but most likely you probably haven't progressed much further than that unless you're top of the line Mythic Raider, World First or Realm First or something like that. But we sort of got to a point where we can't really go any further, and it's making me wonder what Blizzard is going to do for the rest of the expansion. I know that they said their intention was to just have it so that people would constantly be doing the content to get artifact power to level up their concordance, but it's so boring. There's no measurable effect every level up. You put 1 point into concordance, which took you 2 or 3 days to get, and because we're not getting more artifact knowledge, it's soon going to be taking weeks to get 1 point to put into the weapon. And the result is the slightest buff, 400 strength or agility or whatever it is that your class gets. That is so boring. I don't understand what the point of that is. I understand that they can't just keep giving us a new ability every rank, a new active ability or a new passive ability that actually physically alters the way we play our classes. But they've got to do something about this artifact power. I used to tag along to Mythic Dungeons to get artifact power and maybe have a chance at getting a slight upgrade for a non-tier slot or a slot I could replace, like my braces or a ring or something. But now, I've been really busy with uni, so maybe I'm not a good example, but I have done virtually no Mythic Dungeons since I got Concordance of the Legion full on my Frost weapon. And I don't do world quests anymore. It's gotten to the point where the only reason I log in is to raid every Wednesday and Thursday night. And it was my understanding that this was the sort of behavior that Blizzard wanted to step out. They wanted to incentivize players to do all the content, daily. World quests and Mythic Dungeons. So I have to ask why they would think that putting an unlimited trait that will take forever and ever and ever into your weapons, why would they think that that is the answer to the question of how do we get players continually doing content? We're not really incentivized to level up for the slightest buff. Once you get Concordance 1, you're pretty much fine. Obviously, your character still hasn't met their power limit. So people who do want to get absolutely maxed out will always constantly be on doing world quests and dungeons to get artifact power to level up their weapon. But for the people who don't have as much time, it just makes them fall further and further behind when the people in front of them have picked up the pace a bit. And I understand that players who play more shouldn't be penalized because other players don't play more, but artifact power is not the right way to go. There's not really any achievement in putting in 600 hours of grinding world quests or mythic dungeons or whatever the fastest way to get AP is. There's no reason that needs to be protected. It's not something to be proud of, that you grinded out so many hours to put into your weapon. I mean, a player who plays 1 hour a week will eventually get their weapon maxed out, just by simple maths, they'll just pick up enough artifact power over the course of their lifespan in WoW to max out their weapon. So again, what is the point? What does Blizzard hope this system will change? Players aren't going to do content they don't enjoy, and most players don't really enjoy grinding over and over and over again for the slightest little buff, maybe 2 or 3 days or even weeks down the road. And it's even worse now that we've got 3 weapons that we all have to level up. Maybe the system would work better if Concordance worked across all 3 specs. So once you've gotten to level 54 or whatever it is that you start to unlock Concordance on all weapons, if the AP you put into one weapon would then apply to all other weapons, people might be even more incentivized to play, so that way they know that no matter what, all their weapons are going to be on the same power level. and they'll be able to just swap into their other specs to play that as they wish. You know, if they need a tank, they don't really want to be using their tanking spec when it's so much weaker than their DPS spec. I feel like the AP system has really killed a core aspect of the game. That players can do the same content, but there'll be more longevity because they're using different specs and experiencing it in a different way, even if it's only different because of the spec they choose to use. Now, I know that's probably not true for all classes like hunters or rogues that have pretty similar specs, but I think it's fair to say that the other classes, especially paladins or monks or druids that have multiple roles within their class, they will get more out of being able to apply concordance to every weapon at the same rate, so that way they can do the Mythic Plus farming content or the World Quest farming content in different specs and just trying new things out. That being said, that is not an absolute cure to the system. There's still more that needs to be done. I don't know what, I don't have the answers, I don't even have a good idea really, but the AP system is not the idea. It is not cure-all, in my opinion. I think the AP system, maybe it doesn't need to go, but it needs to be reworked again. I would like to see Concordance of the Legion Fall being capped out reasonably soon, just like the 5% trait on your weapon before the overhaul, before 7.15 or 7.2, before the AP changes. I would like to see that system again, because then at least I know once I've reached the maximum on one spec, my character is maxed out at their power level. It still doesn't incentivize me to do the content, but at least I won't be dejected every time I look at my weapon and see I'm still 50 ranks off maxing it up at level 110 with, 50 days played or something. That's just my thoughts on AP. Just that it needs to be changed, and I would like to see something happen to it in the near future. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, I don't care. Leave a like, leave a dislike, leave a comment, and if I find what you say interesting, I might reply to you in the comments. If you didn't enjoy this video, also leave a comment, tell me why, because I would love to have some criticism. I enjoy making these videos, but I'm really stumped with uni a lot of the time, so sometimes it's just not possible for me to do that. But I appreciate feedback if you want to give me some, and subscribe if you enjoy this, because I will try to do more content about this, or maybe some more lore stuff in the future if anyone liked that. Check that out on my channel as well, because I'm a law student and I love talking about and world building the lore within video games. So leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!